So this week we saw Scott Morrison get in a bit of a flame war with China. One of the Chinese, I think, ambassadors, Li Zhao, he put this shocking photo out where he said, this is on Twitter, where he said, "Shocked by the murder of Afghan civilians and prisoners by Australian soldiers. We strongly condemn such attacks and call for holding them accountable." And there you can see a photo of an Australian soldier grinning while he slits the throat of a young Afghani girl holding a unblemished lamb.
And yet this has been news for, 3, 4, 5 days now, and the rest? See, this is when I refer to kabuki, shadow theatre, this is what it is. If they're giving this airtime, it's because they don't want us to think about anything else. This is complete nonsense. We know it's nonsense. Everybody knows it's nonsense. Slomo, Silent Scott, is very angry about it, and people are just over and over the top about a bloody tweet. Give me a break. Even Matt Canavan, Slick Willie, he said, and listen to the words they use, because they're trying to, this is part of the whole brainwashing technique that we've been talking about. He said, Australia should get out of this abusive relationship with China. Like we're some poor put-upon pregnant teenager with an abusive sort of 30-year-old boyfriend. And, Scott's going to stand up to it, and this is complete nonsense. And then, by the way, Slomo, you can't stand up to China when you're on your knees, so nobody believes you for starter. But the fact that this has had so much airtime by everybody means it's absolute rubbish. So what don't they want you to know about? Oh, I don't know. The triads bringing in ice through the Port of Darwin, which they control. Ice epidemic in Townsville, and China's about to take over Townsville Port as well, I understand. Ice factories out of Chinchilla, where the sound of automatic weapons is heard on a regular basis that keeps everybody at bay. So let's not talk about any of that stuff. Let's not talk about the land that was gifted to a Chinese company to open up an export abattoir in northern Queensland. Yeah, it's a great idea. The abattoir, work, no problem. But why is the local council gifting land to the Chinese company? See, these are the things that Slomo and his Chinese Communist Party controlled puppet government don't want you to know about. They want to know about a tweet, a meme. Give me a break, please, grow up. Just stop it. This is just nonsense. We know it's nonsense. Start fixing the problem, Slomo.
I have to admit, it is strange that, let me put it to you this way, guys. The only time I've seen the media in the US commend Donald Trump was when he did airstrikes on the Assad government in the Middle East, when allegedly chemical weapons were done. They said, he's very presidential, he's this, he's that. That's when you know the mother effers over there in the media are all in it together. The military-industrial complex. That's when you know something's up. They never agree on anything.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I was like, hang on a sec. What's going on? Because, look, you look at ScoMo calling this out, and this fake pic, and it's at face value, it's commendable. It's like, oh wow, he found his marbles. He's actually standing up for Australia. Will he? Is he prepared to sever trade ties? Is he prepared to start pulling the trigger, or is it all words?
No, this is just a show. The only courage we've seen this week is from Kennard, from Kennard's Hire, the businessman that said, we should pull out of China, make a conscious decision not to work with China anymore. That's a sound principle as far as I'm concerned. But the pollies won't, because they're all bought and paid for. There's a ton of circumstantial evidence that these people will get on their knees at the first Chinese syllable that comes from the north. I don't believe a moment. I don't believe the Labor Party or the Liberal Party have any intention of backing away from China. They have, both of them over the decades, made sure that we were dependent upon them. I think something like 80% of our trade is with China. A single point of failure, if ever there was one. And so we are compelled to bow to them.
It's insane. And America's no better, guys. I mean, I think something like 80 to 90% of their medication comes from China. They had PPE gear that was turned around going to the US, hundreds of thousands of masks and other gear turned around. They got on the phone and said, turn this around. Similar with Australia, all those property companies. Did we forget about that? Those Chinese Australian companies that were sending all this PPE gear back to China. What's going on?